So I think it's important to show up as a whole self, right? Build connections with your people. Let them know you as a person versus just someone who sits in the office and tells you when your premiums go up.
Hello there. This is John Bernatovich, your host of the HR Like a Boss podcast. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. I've embarked on a journey to get to know amazingly awesome HR and business professionals, and I'm trying to understand what it takes to do HR like a boss. I'm delighted to be joined by Spahnie. Katie's a friend of mine that I met while we were working together at a former employer of hers. My company was offering some services to their organization. And since then, Katie and I have stayed in touch, and I've really respected her approach to HR and building relationships in the community. So Katie, welcome to the HR Like a Boss podcast.
Hey, John, thank you for having me, and thanks for the nice intro. It's been a while since we've been friends and connected, so I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
As our first question, I always start off all our guests on the HR Like a Boss podcast is, how would you describe the purpose of human resources?
To me, the purpose of HR is to connect and to align. We're connecting people across the functions, right? We're connecting operations to sales and marketing. We're connecting leadership to the people on production line or entry-level positions or whatever that might be in the lower levels. We're connecting finance with operations. We're connecting people to their purpose, to the purpose of the company, to the company's values, and to each person's contribution and place within the company. Our purpose is to align everything we do, all the people strategies we put in place, all the programs with those of the goals of the company for the short term and for the long term. We ensure that we have appropriate people, right, in right spots. And I know we've in the company that will move the company forward, that will help company grow. So connect and align.
How did you learn that? What allowed you to, over the course of your career in HR, to get really clear about the purpose of connecting, your people to the business, at the same time getting everyone aligned to which way we're rowing the boat together, so that we can achieve the results that will be good for the employees, will be good for the company, and good for the community. How did you learn that?
Initially, my understanding of my role when I first stepped into HR was that I was a liaison between the employees and the leadership, right? So employees come to me, I come to leadership comes to me, I disseminate the information or communication to the employees. While that seemed a little too transactional, so from that, taking a step forward, it was more or less, so everyone's on the same page. So I and HR in general is not specifically the hub of information, but more or less the function that relates that information in different ways to, in the ways that people understand it. So for example, someone in production line may not care what our EBITDA numbers are, but what does it mean to them, right? How we transparently explain where we go and how we get in there and how the people fit in there. So to me, it's more than just, hey, here's what I want you to tell employees, right? This is a memo to send out. Or the employee comes in, why are we doing this specifically, and what does it mean to my job? So creating a bigger picture out of that connection and aligning is what I thought, and I still think is important for HR to do.
A lot of people don't like HR, to the point where it's a key point in my book and in presentations I do that I hate HR. So I'm just curious as to this stigma that exists about human resources within the, I'll call it, non-HR field. How can we in HR break down that stigma of what HR is and that it's bad and I don't like it?
I think it's driven primarily by the side of our work that's visible versus invisible. Most of what we do that's visible is negative, right? That's your terminations, that's the increase in premiums, that is, cut the programs or something like that, cut the benefits programs, or there's new mandate, or there's a new law, there's a new policy. So something is negative, it's readily visible. And that's what gives HR this bad stigma, right? Bad feeling, bad aura, if you will. What we do that is great for the company, for the people, it usually goes unnoticed, right? If it's increasing premiums, maybe the HR spend a lot of time negotiating down from 63% to 9%, right? But yet people still see increase in it. We implement new benefits. Great, employer gave me now this, and not seeing that HR actually was behind that, right? So it's hard to toot our own horn, but I think we should own our own successes where we can. And another thing is too, John, behind all those policies, compliance, total rewards programs, whatever it might be, we are people, we are humans too. So I think we, at some point, we're forgetting that, and we act as a representative of the company, forgetting that we are also humans, just like people that we work with. So I think it's important to show up as a whole self, right? Build connections with your people. Let them know you as a person versus just someone who sits in the office and tells you when your premiums go up. I think we need that human connection between us and people we work with. It seems like a daunting task, for example, if you have a multi-million people company, right? Or even a few hundred employees you have, it's kind of hard to build those connections. But if we start even with our own team, if we start with 2-3 people in the departments we work with, it's doable.
How do you think HR can model the behavior of loving what they do and then the people that they serve?
But as far as loving what I do, it's more or less showing up every day, no matter what day you're having, right? Good day, bad day, you show up. You show up for people, you show up for what you do, for your team, and understanding and owning the part that you play in the company's success and the company's growth. I think that's important to modeling that behavior, right? I know what I do. I love what I do. I am there whether I'm having a good day or a bad day. I'm helping people. I'm truly investing in people, right? My attention, my time in building those connections.
How would you describe someone that does HR like a boss?
HR manages one of the largest assets of any organization, right? For some organizations, it is the largest asset. So it's an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a great responsibility. So I think to HR like a boss, and by the way, I love how you made a verb out of HR. To HR like a boss, I think it's to be open-minded, it's to be approachable, it's speaking multiple languages, meaning speaking finance, speaking operations, speaking sales, and understanding the business, what makes business grow, right? And what makes business stay afloat and develop further. So it's being honest, it's being humble, and it's being human.
Katie, I really enjoyed having you on the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well.
I have, John. Thank you so much for the experience. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for checking out the HR Like a Boss podcast. If it resonates with you, please consider leaving a rating and review. And better yet, subscribe and share with a friend. Until next time, let's continue to aspire to do amazingly awesome HR.